Wait for that foam to break in, and this can be a good lightweight option for you. There is one problem though. Welcome back to the WearTesters YouTube channel. My name is Alan, and today we're doing a performance review on the Tatum 1 basketball shoes. These are Jason Tatum's first signature shoe from the Jordan brand. These retail for $120, and this specific colorway is called Welcome to the Zoo. The first time I tested these shoes, I did not like it, but thankfully I got to test it more and the experience did get better. Today we're gonna mix it up and start with the things I didn't like about the shoe. The first thing I didn't like about the shoe is the fit. I think the shoes fit a tad bit long. This wasn't a deal breaker, but it is a minor issue that I think some people will find as a concern. So there is this lateral piece here that I thought would make the fit narrow and constricting. In reality, the width just feels right. It doesn't feel too narrow, nor is it too wide as well. There is no plastic piece on the medial side of the shoe, so in terms of breathing room for your feet, it is better on that side. What also helps is that the upper is on the thinner side. It is leno weave, but it is thicker and more structured than the leno weave that you would find in something like the 37 highs that came out recently. If you have regular feet, I think going true to size will still work out. Just expect a tad bit more space between your toes and the tip of the shoe. If that is a huge concern for you and you want a really one-to-one fit, especially for your toes and that toe box area, then going down half a size may work for you. The only time that I would recommend to really going up half a size at least is if you have really wide feet or if you have really bulky ankle braces like I do. If I would have gone back, I would have just gone with true to size. You don't want to overcompensate with that length of the shoe, and I think the ankle brace that I use would still be able to work with the upper in this shoe. The second thing I didn't like about the shoe is the outsole durability. The outsole of the Tatum 1s has rubber on the forefoot area, while the rest of the outsole consists of Phylon foam. As Chris mentioned in his initial video, the fastest way to reduce weight in a shoe is to remove rubber, and that's why they did that here. The rubber here feels exactly just like the Luka 1 rubber compound that I tested last year, and in terms of durability, it showed little to no signs of fraying, even after I played with it outdoors. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for the rest of the outsole. This foam part already started showing signs of wear after just playing with it indoors for 6 hours. When I did take it outside eventually, it was starting to show considerable signs of wear. This rapid fraying is something I would have expected for playing outdoors strictly, but for indoor use, this foam shouldn't do this. If you're an outdoor hooper, this may not be the best option for you. If you have the luxury of switching out shoes, then this can be still an option for you. There are some versions where the rubber is a solid XDR version. I don't think it would make much of a difference. If all the versions of the shoe have this same type of foam, then I think the durability will be the same for all the other outsoles. In terms of traction performance, the rubber part of the shoe performed very well from the start. It was really just the foam part that needed time to break in. On the first day I was playing with these shoes, I did not like how it performed. It was clearly obvious that this rubber part was so much better than the rest of it. The second time around, the court was cleaner, so that may have been a factor too, but I just think it just needed time to break in. Whatever top layer or film it had on this foam part of the shoe, I think it wore off because on that court, the foam part was gripping really well. So the full outsole was working as a unit. After that, I tried it in a very dusty 24-hour fitness court and it was gripping well there. Once the traction was cooperating with me, I was able to fully appreciate my favorite aspect about the shoe, the lightweight of the shoe. The Jordan brand is saying that these are the lightest performance basketball shoes they have, and it's true. It's lighter than the Jordan 37s from last year, and it's also lighter than the Luka 1s. I really love the lightweight of the shoe, especially when, again, the traction worked well. On the defensive end, I like to run around a lot and I like to be annoying and go for steals. On the offensive end, I like to drive and attack the rims. Having light shoes like this can give you a slight advantage to have that quick first step. Obviously, the shoes are just a small component of the game, but if you can take any slight advantage you can for performance, you should just take it. Still work on your game, obviously. Regulated games are usually under an hour, but for pickup runs, we can lose track of time, and at some point, we're certainly going to be tired. Lightweight shoes can possibly be a slight advantage in this case as well. If we're playing with heavier shoes, by the time it's the third or fourth hour, we're gonna feel tired and it's gonna be more taxing on our legs and our body. Your own conditioning is going to matter more, but lightweight shoes can help in that regard by conserving your energy. One more thing I came to like about the shoe is the cushion setup. A good middle ground between court feel and bounciness. It's not as bouncy as the 37s, but it's also not as close to the ground as the Luka ones. This has a weird feeling sensation in the midfoot part of the shoe, but it wasn't enough to really bother me. I really wasn't thinking about it too much when I was playing. When I was doing heavy steps with the shoe, I would feel my feet sinking in a little bit in that area. I'd also like to note that I am a very light person. The experience for someone heavier or stronger may be different. So the reason it's doing that is because the upper is suspended from the ground. Like, it's not sitting directly on top of anything. It is directly over something. It is over this plastic plate, but there is space between the plastic plate and the upper. If you have the shoes with the default midsole that it came with, it's just super easy to bend. If you are someone who really values maximum torsional support, then this shoe by itself without modifications will not probably be the best. If you use something like a Game Day Pro insole or any insole you like that has more rigidity, it will not allow your feet to sink in as much. It's not gonna bend so easily. Hopefully that will add more rigidity and more support for your feet. There is one air zoom unit in the forefoot. It's not double stacked like it is in the 37s, and it covers a large part of the forefoot area. There is also this plastic plate that is in the cushion setup. It's supposed to be there to aid that Zoom Air unit to give you a bouncy and springy feel that also helps you with energy transfer so that every step you take, you're propelling yourself forward. Only when the traction again works. Traction is the foundation, it trickles down from there. And when you add in the lightweight of the shoe and the bounciness of the shoe, you're gonna be able to take advantage of the technology and propel yourself forward. The plastic plate also just acts like the glue that holds everything together so that the shoe feels stable enough for you. The rest of the cushion setup is comprised of the same foam that is also the traction outsole. In terms of impact protection, the foam is good enough. It's not anything special. It's not, too bouncy, nor is it too firm. I think it just provides just the right amount of compression, and I think it should be good enough for most people. Another support feature is this lateral piece that you have here. It's part foam and plastic. That is there to aid with obviously lateral movements, but I do like the fact that it doesn't dig into my feet when I'm wearing these shoes. The rest of the shoe support is really going to depend on getting the right fit. This shoe is a mid top. It's not necessarily better than a low top. Again, it doesn't really matter if it's a low top or high top. If you do like mid tops, since it does give you a hugging feel and that gives you a mental sense of security, then go right ahead. I think that's just as important. There is adequate enough padding on the ankle collar, slightly soft to the touch. I didn't experience heel slippage at all, so I think that's always a good thing. The tongue is slightly padded, and I like that it's the same height as the ankle collar, so it's not going to rub the top part of your ankle. It also doesn't move around. It is connected, it's gusseted, and it even has these perforations here. They're for breathability reasons. I personally didn't have issues with the tongue moving around, but I did try to use the perforations and see if the laces could fit through it. So if you really wanted to somehow lock down that tongue and feel like it's moving for you, then you can utilize those perforations. That about wraps it up for my performance review of the Tatum 1 basketball shoes. There are some slight concerns about it, like that sinking feeling in the midfoot area and the fact that it fits long. But I think if you value a really lightweight shoe, I think you're gonna be willing to compromise on those things and be able to appreciate this shoe. The one glaring weakness that can't be ignored though is that outsole durability, so that is something to think about. I'm excited for the pink lemonade colorway that's supposed to come out soon. There's also been some PE colorways that have been pretty awesome. As always, use your shoes, go have fun playing out there, win some games, but most of all, stay safe doing so. My name is Alan, and I'll see you again on the next performance review.